All right, we'll wait for some people to get on here. Once they do, I'm going to talk about what I call the pause button today. We're going to talk about the pause button, and I'll explain what that means to you guys once we get a couple people on here. I think I need to start having a drink before these because, man, they give me hell of anxiety. We've got 3. Who's on here? Hi, Celeste. How are you? So we're going to talk about the pause button today. I'll tell you exactly what that means as soon as we get a couple more. Okay, let's start. First of all, hi, Lee. I probably need to start having a drink before I come on here because even though I've been doing them more regularly, still have hell of anxiety. Hi, Jane. How are you? So today I want to talk about what I call the pause button. It's something I've been talking with clients about the last week or so. Hi, Hope. Okay, so before I do that, let me say a couple things, which will lead us into today's discussion. Right now, what's happening is affecting everybody in a different way, right? For every person who is isolated and going out of their mind with boredom, there is a nurse who's working 60 hours a week and who is stressed beyond anything she could have ever imagined. For everybody who is isolated in complete boredom at home, and for those nurses, there is a single mom who has rent tomorrow and doesn't know how she's going to pay it. And on top of that, she has 3 kids under the age of 8 who are all at home going crazy, and she's unbelievably stressed. So this is affecting everybody in different ways. The fears, the pain, the challenges, the coping mechanisms. When I come on and do these videos, I don't expect that what I speak about is going to resonate with every person because it is affecting everybody differently and everybody is at a different place with all of this. So today, what I want to talk about will resonate with some of you and some of you it may not. I want to talk about what I call the pause button today. And the focus today is kind of going to be for people who feel like they were just in the process of rebuilding their life. So if you think about it, we have a global pandemic going on right now. And at the same time, we kind of have a global pause button. Like somebody just pressed the pause button on life, on the globe, right? If you're a widowed person who was just kind of really getting in the process of rebuilding, or if you're a person who got out of a horrible marriage a few months ago, or if you lost a child a year ago, or let's say you had a job that you hated 6 months ago and you quit and you started your own business and you just kind of were starting to rebuild it. Everything has been paused. Again, not for everybody because there's people out there right now who are cops and firefighters and doctors and nurses who are completely at their max and they're doing amazing work. But for a lot of us, everything has been paused, right? Just as this is affecting everybody in different ways with their pain and their fear and their coping mechanisms, we also all need to kind of figure out how to use our time uniquely. What I'll never do is come on here and tell you all specifically how you should use your time. That's such a unique thing. Hi, Tatiana. Hi, Karen. So, for every person who wants to take this time and be really productive, there's also a person who needs to take this time and rest, right? Maybe their spouse was sick for 3 years and they were taking care of them, and then they had some incredible drama afterwards, and they've been on the go for 5 years. They've been stressed to the max every day for 5 years. Some people might want to write a book or paint or fix their house up right now. Other people just need to chill out in regards to their expectations on themselves. Because right now is a time when they need to relax. Here's how I'm kind of viewing it. If the globe is kind of on a pause button, right? If our life is kind of on a pause button, I'm looking inwardly and saying when the play button is hit, because it will be hit eventually, we don't know when, and I'm not going to say things will go back to normal because we don't know what it's going to look like when life resumes. But when the play button is hit, where do I want to be as a human? Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Now, some of that will depend on what the next couple months look like and what happens to us individually and as a globe, right? But I'm looking inwardly to say, where do I want to be as a human? What do I have to do to try to get myself there? And what do I have to do to get myself at a point where I'm ready to go once the play button is hit? So if you were to ask me, John, what do you want in your life? Well, I want to continue to improve my health with my MS. I want to continue to grow my career, and I want to fall in love. What can I do right now during my downtime to put myself in a position when the play button is hit on the globe that I can begin to pick up where I left off and start to pursue those things? For me personally, the answer is twofold. It's taking care of my health, because if I feel good and I'm basically symptom-free with my MS, I can then continue to grow my career and enjoy it. And I can continue to put myself out there and hopefully fall in love. And if I do fall in love, I'll be able to enjoy a relationship. And the other answer is rest. So for me, it's not a whole bunch of productivity. It's more rest. My wife was sick for 2.5 years. The 2.5 years after her death were hell of a different sort, but they were hell with everything else that I had going on that came up. So for 5 years straight, my mind, my body, my soul, everything was kind of destroyed. And yeah, I kind of started putting myself back together, and I kind of rested a little bit over the course of the last maybe, what has it been, 1.5 years or so. But now is a time for me personally where I can do more of that. I can continue to put myself together. I can continue to do the things that I need to do so that when life resumes, I'm in a place where I'm at the starting line and I'm ready to go, right? I hope that makes sense. I think it's also a time where we can evaluate what's really important. Not only relationships in our life, but what's actually important to us in this life. For those of you that are widowed people, you know, when our spouse passes, a lot of times we kind of get a wake-up call, right? We kind of realize how precious life is, all those things. But then that kind of fades a little bit. We can kind of get back into the daily grind, and we can kind of forget all those things. And this is kind of a wake-up call into really how short life is, how precious it is. So I hope that made sense as far as how I'm viewing the global pause button, and then how I'm trying to position myself for when the play button is pressed. Where will I be at? Where will I be at? Will I be in bad health and be saying, John, you should have took care of your health for the last 2 months so you could enjoy life again, so you could pursue the things you want again? Or will I be in good health? Will I be, hopefully, mentally and emotionally and spiritually a little bit recharged? That's my hope. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to try to read some comments and some questions. Also, let me just say this real quick. If you saw my last video at the end, I said I was going to do 3 videos last week, and I did 0. And the reason I did 0 is because, again, I'm looking at things and I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself right now. So I know what I have to get done, but during a global pandemic, for me personally, as my life is structured, productivity takes a back seat to my health, my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, and my kind of recharging a little bit. Okay, so productivity is important, but it's a little bit on the back seat. Again, that's for my life. So now I'll read some questions. Melissa says, hi, John. May I use your play button question in my online class tomorrow with credit to you? Of course you can. Feel free. Do you guys have any questions and stuff? Since I'm on. Once I get on, I like to stay on. It's actually pressing the play button and starting these things, which is unbelievably nerve-wracking. And if you're typing, there's a delay with Facebook. Hi, Michael. How are you? Karen says, let's see, Karen, if I can pull up your whole thing before I try to read it. What? Okay, Karen says, I'll be 63 on Thursday. Today I want rum and Coke. I've just found some footing after 11 years of caregiving and 2 years widowed. Enough. I feel you, Karen. I think that again, the last video I did, I was talking about I've been eating like crap and I don't feel good with my MS and I need to start eating again. And then at the very end, I was like, and I'm going to get ice cream. It's about balance, right? I can take care of myself. I can do all those things, but sometimes you just need some ice cream. Or in your case, tonight, some rum and Coke. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, Corey. I have a list of about 20 other things I want to talk about just in regards to what's going on in the world, in addition to like the 60 other video ideas I have about grief and dating and all the things I coach. So I'm going to just say a couple of things here as I hope that some of you guys ask questions. I've been getting some messages about, are you still doing your one-on-one coaching? Yes, I am. It's my career. I have to work. Plus I love my job. So I am still doing that. I also have a virtual workshop this Saturday coming up. You go to my website if you want to sign up. It's called Who Am I Now? Widowed people in particular, after our spouses pass, we tend to become strangers to ourselves. Feels like the old us is dead and we become strangers to ourselves. So we're going to focus on that this Saturday and looking at who am I now and how do we kind of start to identify who we are now and rebuild and all that stuff. Tina, I'm sorry for your loss. Tina's husband passed 18 months ago. My condolences to you. Hi, Susan. Rhonda says you have to take care of yourself. Health is more important than productivity. Absolutely. I agree. Productivity can be a version of self-care. Like we can feel better when we're productive. So I do want to stress that. That doesn't mean John Polo came on and said, I should just sit on my butt for 3 months and eat 14 Oreos. I'm not saying that. Watch the whole video. But you understand what I'm saying, Rhonda. It is more important. For me personally, I know what is most important to gear myself up for when that play button is pressed. I'm going to be ready to go and try to get back to pursuing what I want in life. Okay. So let's read. Natalie has a question. Thank you. I love when people have questions because it gives me something to talk about and I don't just have to ramble. Natalie says, how do you push yourself to have motivation to do things? My motivation is low. Been widowed 3 years. So that is such a difficult question before the global pandemic. It's even more difficult now. What I will say, let me say something and then I will see if I can give you some kind of short, quick answer. In May, I'm hosting a virtual workshop called Motivational May, so you might want to consider that. I think that one of the reasons why widowed people, for an example, lose motivation is because they don't know what they want, right? So there's a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is they don't know what they want. If you don't know what you want, it's very hard to motivate yourself. What are you motivating yourself for, right? So I think that your case might be different. We've never talked. I don't know. But that's my kind of initial quick thought on this. Starting to kind of identify what you want in life, which is easier said than done, I know. And then kind of looking at different questions like, does this person think they deserve to be happy? Are they self-sabotaging in any way due to guilt or self-worth? All of that stuff comes into play. So it's a very complicated question. If you're interested, I would love to work with you one-on-one. But again, think about it. Do you know what you want in life? Because if not, very hard to motivate yourself. Let me see if I can read Hope's comment. Hope says, it went away. I appreciate the space for all different kinds of lived experience. There is no cookie cutter approach. We all need different things, 100%. It's one of the reasons why I struggle with doing these lives. I try to watch my words very carefully, but being in front of the camera, being a little nervous, sometimes it doesn't always come out right. There is no one fix solution. What is it? You know what I'm saying? Quick fix for this type of thing, for rebuilding your life, for dealing with the global pandemic. It looks different on everybody, and that's okay. The key is to figure out what works for you. Let me read Karen. Karen says, how do you know what you want? I feel like I did before he died, 63, I should know. So Karen, I think you've been a part of one of my virtual workshops before. I can't remember, I'm sorry, my memory's not that well. I think it's very hard to know what you want if when your spouse passed, you feel like the old you went with them. So for a lot of widowed people, not all, but for a lot, when our spouse passes, we feel like the old us died too. And if you haven't really rebuilt yet, or maybe you started, but you haven't gotten very far, it's very hard to know what you want. And there's a whole big analogy I do on this, and I'm not going to do it right now because it takes too long. But think about it. You're like a stranger to yourself. If you walked outside right now, and we're not supposed to go outside, but bear with me for the purpose of this example, and you saw a stranger, and I was like, Karen, what does that person want in life? You'd be like, I don't know. I don't know who they are, John. Why are you asking me stupid questions, right? So getting to know yourself again is step one. And there's actual things that I do with clients to work on that. So if you're available Saturday or Sunday, sign up for my workshop. It's Saturday, but it'll be available Sunday to watch as well. We're going to identify who you are, and then we can start looking at what you want. You're correct, Jane. You can. Hi, Taro. How are you? Understand, Karen. Right. What's our purpose, right? Who are we? I was you said you're a wife, a mother, a caregiver. Absolutely. Again, I don't want to sound salesy here, but I think my workshops will help you. It's a whole big thing that I work with clients on. There's not a sentence or two that I can do. It's an actual process of understanding what happened when our spouses passed, as far as what kind of happened to the old us, our old purpose, all of that. And then starting from the ground level to how we get to know ourselves again. And then as we get to know ourselves again, we can start to identify in time what it is we want, what our purpose is, okay? Karen, I will message you after. If you go to my website, it's the workshop on Saturday. It's called Who Am I Now? But I'll send you a message. Hi, Sophia. How are you? Hi, Sue. Anybody else have any questions? Like I said, coming on these is nerve-wracking, but once I'm on, I kind of don't want to go. Let me see if I can pull up that list of things that I was supposed to talk about at some point. Oh, where is it at? One second, guys. I can't find it. Okay. Hi, Karen. How are you? I don't want to ask you the question I want to ask you here because this is a public page, but I'll message you. I am going to take a look at my list of topics, come back on probably Thursday, if not for sure on Friday, and talk about something else with you guys. All right, everyone stay safe. Keep your head up, one day at a time. Remember to breathe. Yesterday I was on a call with a client who was completely overwhelmed with various things, and we just took some time, and I reminded her, before we got into everything, to breathe, okay? All right, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.